Okay, now we're going to use these steps that I've given you up here, and we're actually going to factor, okay? So first we're going to check and make sure we're in this form, ax squared plus bx plus c, where a equals 1. Let's check this one. Ax squared plus bx plus c. If you need to, write that up here. Ax squared plus bx plus c. We are in that form, and my a, which is right here, is 1. So that's good. My a is 1, okay? All right, the first thing you're going to do is draw the box. That's what we're used to doing. Okay, remember before how I called them bookends? This was a bookend and this was a bookend. The top left box, you always put that first x squared in. So x squared goes here. Then this 10 right here is going to go here, right there. Okay? Now we're going to go back to that big X we were doing before. Remember, we multiply to get the top and add to get the bottom. But we multiply, what we're multiplying is A times C. Well, my A here is 1, and my C here is 10. So 1 times 10, that's 10. Okay, so I'm multiplying to get 10. And then you're adding to get that middle number 7. So the 7. So we're looking for two things that multiply to give us 10 and add to give us 7. Let's start trying. 1 and 10. Well, that's 11 when we add it, so that doesn't work. 2 goes 5 times. 2 times 5 is 10, and 2 plus 5 is 7. So that's what works, 2 and 5. If you need to, circle those. Those are the numbers that we're going to use. Now you're going to take those numbers and put them over here in this box with an X. 2X, 5X. It does not matter which boxes you put them in. If you put the 5X up here and the 2X down here, that's not going to make any difference. Now you ask yourself, what is the greatest common factor across here? Well, the greatest common factor is X. Once you find that X, you say, okay, this is like what we were doing when we were doing factor by grouping. X times what is X squared? X. X times what is 2X? 2. X times what is 5X? 5. And 5 times 2 is 10. So my answer, if you'll remember, we highlighted these. Okay, so my answer is x plus 5 times x plus 2. And again, it would not matter if I wrote the x plus 2 first and then the x plus 5. That wouldn't make a difference. Okay, let's look at B. We're going to draw the box to start with. We're going to put our bookends where they're supposed to be. So we've got an x squared and a 63. And again, you're in ax squared plus bx plus c form, but our a here is 1. Remember, if there's nothing in front of the x squared, it's understood to have a 1 there. Okay, now we do our big X. So my a is 1. My c is 63. So 1 times 63 is 63. And then down here, we put the number in the middle, which is negative 16. That's your B. Okay? Now, again, if you get confused with that, go right here. A times C, B. So I did A times C, B. All right? Two things that will multiply to give me 63 and add to give me 16. Okay? So we could start at 1. 1 and 63. Now, let's talk about our signs. If this is negative, if the 16 is negative and the 63 is positive, that means both of my signs have to be negative down here, which means I'm adding to get this 16. Okay? All right, 63 and 1 is 64, so that doesn't work. 2 does not go into 63 because it's not even. 3 goes into 63 21 times, but 21 plus 3 is 24, so that doesn't work. 4 does not go into 63. 5 does not. 6 does not. So 7 goes 9 times. And 9 plus 7 is 16. So we just found our two numbers, 9 negative 9, negative 7. So we come over here and we put them in the box. Again, it does not matter which one you put where. Negative 9x, negative 7x. Okay, now we go back to greatest common factor. What's the greatest common factor across the top? X. What do I multiply by x to get x squared? X. What do I multiply by x to get negative 9x? Negative 9. What do I multiply by x to get negative 7x? Negative 7. And negative 7 times negative 9 is a positive 63. So my answer comes from here and here. X minus 7 times x minus 9. Again, it would not matter if we wrote the x minus 9 and then x minus 7. That doesn't make any difference. Okay, I want to do one more with you before I let you try some. You'll notice that my a is not 1 here. Remember, this is ax squared plus bx plus c. But my a is not 1, my a is 3. So what you need to say is, can I take a greatest common factor out? And we've done that. Well, we can here. We can take out a 3. So we're going to take out that 3. That gives us p squared plus 3p minus 28. 28 times 3 is 84. Okay? Now, if you ignore this 3 that's out front for right now, now we have 1 as our coefficient on the x squared. In this case, p squared. Okay? So now we've got what we need. But we're only looking at, let me highlight this, we're only factoring now this right here, just what I've highlighted in yellow. So we're going to draw our box. P squared, that's one end. The other end is negative 28. We draw our x. Okay, remember we're multiplying a times c. That's 1 times negative 28, which is negative 28. I'll write that up here for you. 1 times negative 28, it's negative 28. And then in the bottom, we're adding to get the b, which is 3. Okay, so if we start with 1, now this is negative 28, so to get a negative when I multiply, I have to have a positive and a negative, which means I'm going to be subtracting to get this 3 down here. Okay, so 1 and 28. Well, that gives me 27 when I subtract, so that doesn't work. 2 and 14. Okay, 14 minus 2 is 12, so that doesn't work. 3 doesn't go into 28, but 4 does. 4 and 7. Hey, 7 minus 4 is 3. That works. Now the signs. I need a positive 3, so the bigger number here has to be positive. So positive 7, negative 4. So 7p and negative 4p. It does not matter which box you put those in. Okay, now, what's the greatest common factor across the top? P. What do I multiply p by to get p squared? P. What do I multiply p by to get 7p? 7. What do I multiply p by to get negative 4p? Negative 4. And negative 4 times positive 7 is negative 28. So my answer, did you see what I highlighted? I also highlighted this 3 up here. That means when I go to do my parentheses, the 3 has to go in the front, and then I put the p minus 4 and p plus 7. You can't leave that 3 out when you put your answer in, okay? When you get your final answer, you've got to keep that 3, because multiplying this out only gives me back what I highlighted in yellow. But when I take that and I multiply it by 3, then I get back to what I started with, okay? All right, as always, if you have questions, let me know.